Hi everybody, welcome back to Living Even Keeled. I want to tell you about another book that I think you will love. It's called The Turquoise Table by Kristen Schell, Finding Community and Connection in Your Own Front Yard. I am so inspired by the way this woman lives. I have not heard of her, just like a lot of the books I've been talking about recently. I have no idea how I came across this book, and I don't know why any of you didn't tell me about it. Do you guys know who this woman is? Are you familiar with the Turquoise Table? After reading this book, once again, I looked it up on Instagram, and it is sort of a larger following. It's a popular idea. It's out there in the world. Are you somebody who lives this way? Do you know about the Turquoise Table? So this is a nonfiction story told by a woman who wanted to sort of find community by using the gifts she was given. She is really good at entertaining. And by the way, this book really wants me to delve into some like spin-off topics to talk about here, like the idea of entertaining versus hospitality. But basically she starts off as an exchange student. I think she's abroad somewhere, and I think it's in France, and she is really enjoying the way that they gather at the table for all of their meals and sometimes linger and talk and just have some camaraderie and conversation after the meal. And she notices along her travels, even when she doesn't speak the same language or eat the same foods, everyone's welcome at the table. And so the idea of bringing people together to the table is one that she wanted to bring back to her home, especially here in the US and maybe other places, maybe North America in general. She talks about how we have such busy schedules. We have like freezer meals quickly. Some people eat standing, some people eat in the car. We're lucky to get together, when we can, type of lifestyle. That seems to be a common type of lifestyle, and that was hers too. She didn't want that anymore. She wanted to make some changes. And not only did she want to make changes with just her own family, but she wanted to be more welcoming to her friends and family and even neighbors. I personally love outdoor living, but I love my backyard more than anything. I love, especially when we lived in California, so I do kind of miss it. You can be outside year round. And she's from, I believe, Arizona, so it's basically the same type of weather. It's chilly in the winter and you might want to go inside on a rainy day, but for the most part, it's nice out. I miss just going. We would have our lunch outside. I could do my lesson, my quote unquote lesson, term used very loosely. We could do arts and crafts outside. I just love being outside. But the idea of becoming a front yard person is scary to me. I don't know my neighbors very well. I know one of them, and all my prior homes, same way. But I would love to be, when I picture an ideal neighborhood, I think of us like everyone knowing each other, not really getting into each other's business, but just knowing who we are, looking out for one another. Maybe on the 4th of July and Memorial Day, having like a block party, the community yard sale, but putting up cones and going to the cul-de-sac where like the kids can play and doing the fireworks. That to me sounds like the ideal neighborhood. She found it. She found it by sort of accidentally placing a picnic table in her front yard. She was having it delivered. It was placed in her front yard under a beautiful magnolia tree, I believe it was, and there it stayed. And they painted it turquoise, and it called some attention to itself because of that reason. And then she made it a point every Thursday, I will sit out there and I won't bring my computer. I think she did at first. I will be open to whatever happens. I'll bring a cup of coffee. And then she started to recognize her neighbors, and they started to say hi to her. And she would observe like certain people jogging, and one day they were gone and she'd be worried, and they realized, oh, okay, they're on vacation. And people started noticing her too and saying, oh, where were you yesterday? And this camaraderie started building. And then eventually she had a regular group of friends who would come by. They would just chit chat, get together, have fun, do some prayer for each other. They would pass the bowl around, and people would, express frustrations or concerns or things they wanted to complain about, and then they would just keep the ball rolling. It was easy. It wasn't like the pressure of having a dinner party, because it was in the morning and it was outside. And she said sometimes she would just bring her fruit bowl from inside or just put out some muffins or whatever, but it wasn't about the entertainment aspect as much as the hospitality aspect of being together. One takeaway from this book was about keeping it simple. And like I said, it wasn't about entertaining and having a big spread of food or anything like that. The point was that we were together talking, sharing stories, maybe getting advice or just getting something off your chest. It wasn't so much about the entertainment. And plus, because it was outside, people felt more likely to show up. They didn't feel the pressure of having to dress a certain way or whatever. And so keeping it simple really is the way to get things done. That's how I feel with so much. That's how I feel with my cleaning. When I try to get too detailed with my cleaning, I don't want to do it. But if it's just like simple, like I'm just going to clean the mirrors today, I can do that. Keeping it simple is the way to achieve more. And just to be happier, like while you're doing it too. Somebody in her life, I don't remember who it was, but somebody in her life always kept a basket or something on hand for when guests pop by, just like a little thing of nuts, she said. And I loved that idea. Now, I'm not one to want to have too many extra things, you know me and my clutter-free life, but I have space, especially in my basement shelving. I thought, what if I just kept like a little basket? I love baskets. So just get a little basket, set it aside, and keep like shelf-stable, non-perishable things that you can pull out in case people pop in, like a little roll of cookies or a little container of nuts, or maybe some sealed sparkling water or something, some sort of beverage, or Coke, whatever, whoever's in your life. Maybe they drink soda. Just a few things, and it's away. It's not part of your pantry. It's just something you pull out if your unexpected guests pop in. And a coffee pot. Here I am taking a quick sip of my afternoon coffee. We like our coffee a certain way, but I thrifted a coffee pot for $4, a really top-notch one, and I kept it in my basement for my mom. But what a cool thing to just keep on hand in case other people stop by and they want a little coffee. In each chapter, she has an activity, like something for you to think about doing. So she talks about, in this one, I just opened up to a random page. Take the first step, move the table outside. Whatever your normal routine is, try it in the front yard. For just a few minutes, I started with 30, she says. Read the mail, write a note to a friend, journal outside at your table. Don't be discouraged if no one walks by. Enjoy the gift of time unplugged at a table. You'll be surprised what you notice. She also has input from some of her readers. She's a blogger, so she has input from what other people are doing as well. And there's also like a workbook section. Here's another activity. Start a front yard people journal. Jot down the comings and goings of your neighborhood. I don't know about you, but if I don't write things down, I'll forget. I wish I had started a journal for the Turquoise Table sooner. So some things you can write down are the names of your neighbors, because we tend to forget those. Names of spouses, children, grandchildren, quick details about their jobs or where they go to school. Any prayer requests. She did say she had a prayer request jar on her table on the days she wasn't sitting out there, and people would put things in. And when the people who gathered at her table, eventually the regular gathering, they would take them out and read them and pray. You write down dates about when people are going to be out of town, somebody had a surgery or health update. These are things that are helpful to know and remember. Here's a list of ways to kickstart table gatherings in your neighborhood. So you can do happy hour. You can do movie night, a s'mores party, soup on Sundays, cocoa and cookies to kick off the Christmas season. She talked about something they would do, like a potluck stew or something on Halloween. I think that's a great idea, and they would just bring different bowls and keep them kind of simmering, whether it's on the crock pot or in the home, and they can go in and get a bowl or something. I just love that. Donuts and coffee some weekday mornings while waiting for the bus. Why not? PJs in the hood. Invite moms to bring their kids over so they can run around and blow off energy before bedtime. But in addition to all of that, there's also recipes, and they're super easy and simple. Things that you can whip up if you do have people coming over unexpectedly or a little bit planned. Some of these are planned ahead. Easy iced tea kind of things, beverages, cookies, things like that. Here it is. Tips for hosting a neighborhood soup party. So have variety, do it self-serve, a mixture of bowls and mugs. A toppings bar. Lots of people like different kinds of things on top of their soup. I just think it's so cool. I want to belong to this type of club, but I don't know if I am ready in my life right now to do it myself. I'm just glad I came across this book. It just looked pretty to me too, and I wanted to read it, and I've renewed it like 3 times, and my time's just about up. So I thought, let me finally just read it, and I'm so glad I did. I would have missed out on the inspiration to make my neighborhood the neighborhood I've always dreamed about. I'm constantly saying, at my next place, I'll do this. When I get to my final, like my real home, my forever home, I thought it would have been this, and I'm not doing any of that. I don't know, this is a real out of the box, out of the comfort zone type of thing for me. But I do need to find a way to have more camaraderie with the people around me. And if anything's gonna inspire me to do it, it's the Turquoise Table. So I hope that book sparked your interest in some way and that you're enjoying the variety that I'm offering you. Now, I did read a lot of books last year during my sporadic sort of break hiatus from YouTube, and I didn't share a single one, but I did take pictures and post them on Instagram. So if you want to find me on Instagram at Living Even Keeled, you can scroll down and I would usually take a picture of the cover of the book if I finished reading it and liked it. But I might bring them into this year's reviews because some of them were just too good to go untalked about. Do you have any recommendations for me? Let me know. I'm always keeping a running list of things I want to read. Sometimes I get to it, sometimes I don't, but I'd love to know what you're reading. So thank you guys for watching, and I see you in my next one. Bye.